Thank you for joining us for a quick conversation about embracing formative assessment in 2020. Let's be real here. The COVID pandemic has created a new normal that looks different than anything else we've experienced in education. With limited time with students in a variety of learning environments, there will be additional academic recovery needs. And frankly, every day is demanding. Resources are low in so many ways. We need to be as effective as we can with our practice to optimize instructional time and positively impact student growth. Today's learning is a jumpstart to formative assessment conversations in our schools and across our teams. We will frame the conversation around these three principles: know the purpose, clarify the role of formative assessment in a balanced assessment system, be intentional, discuss strategies for intentional measurement of standards-based learning targets, and make it actionable. Explore how strategies could be used across multiple learning environments. Know the purpose. In our current reality, formative assessments provide the greatest tool for actionable information about current student learning needs. Formative assessment allows us to gather smaller, focused points of data relative to the current learning goals. These data points should be used to serve as a bridge between teaching and student learning. Formative assessments will inform the path of instruction to desired grade level standards. It's a checkpoint to inform instructional adjustments and should provide specific and actionable next steps. We should also continue to utilize additional data, including interim assessments such as MAP and Acadians. These checkpoints help us to gauge how our students are progressing to the grade level benchmarks, which will be measured on summative assessments. Be intentional. By aligning formative assessments to both our instructional activities and the identified learning outcomes, we can be more effective with meeting students' needs. It's safe to say we are all using formative assessment in some way, whether it be through formal or informal collections of student learning information. If we are intentional about the collection of that information, we can reduce noise and ensure we are gathering data that provides actionable steps towards learning goals. When we are unclear about the learning goals, this can play out much like pin the tail on the donkey. Where is that target? In contrast, when we are clear with our students about their learning goals and we align our feedback to guide students towards those goals, students are more likely to arrive at the desired destination. Take a moment to consider what you are currently doing in practice to connect assessments to standards-based learning goals. Many teachers have found it helpful to review their classroom assessment items for direct alignment to grade level expectations. Here's another way to think about intentionality. Consider working on a puzzle. Can you imagine trying to complete a complex puzzle without knowing what the final picture should look like? A frame of reference throughout the process is key to moving us toward the end goal. This is also true for a student's learning experience. If they understand where they are going, it can help identify strategies to get them to the desired goal. Action steps for learning become much more relevant when the learner understands the ultimate learning outcome, current performance level, and how to overcome the gap in between. Where am I going? Where am I now? What strategies can help me to get where I need to go? Can the student answer these questions throughout the learning process? Can you? This is a great place to begin when deciding where to start improving current practice with formative assessment. Make it actionable. What information is needed and what format will best support the collection of this information? Have clear success criteria with focused feedback. Provide opportunity to apply the feedback throughout the learning cycle. And elicit strategies to utilize, not just the identification of errors, as the student works towards learning goals. In our efforts to improve our instructional practice, sustainability is key. Teachers have to choose methods that will work for them. It is recommended to choose a few strategies and stick with those strategies until the student and teacher identify the strategies as part of what they do for learning before adding additional strategies. This table summarizes which assessment strategies are generally best matched to the expected depth of knowledge in standards. In the second column, the verbs indicate what the student is expected to be able to do. You can use this to guide your identification of strategy that would be most appropriate for the current learning targets. Keep in mind that all DOK levels serve important roles in student learning. Classroom assessments should accurately measure varying levels of DOK as appropriate. A tiny URL is provided to access the interactive version of this table. Please use the interactive resource to better understand how a specific strategy can be utilized in multiple learning environments. When selecting an appropriate strategy, consider desired depth of knowledge and the advantages of a particular formative assessment. Ultimately, will the data collected provide the information you need to inform instruction? Let's take some time to explore. Please visit the tiny URL provided to access formative assessment strategies. And most importantly, do not hesitate to reach out for additional support. We are happy to help brainstorm how to make manageable adjustments to current practice, provide guidance on alignment to learning targets, explore how to shift assessments to virtual or hybrid environments, or simply navigate assessment development with you. We are here to support you. Thank you for teaching.